Happy Friday, friends. Hope you all have had a good week. Wanted to go live today with my 5 on Friday and talk about 5 things that happened this week in the hope that they will help to encourage you. This is my take 2. First time somehow I lost connection, so let's hope it works this time. Anyways, wanted to start with my garden. Things are starting to wind down. As you can see, the sunflowers are starting to burn out a little bit, but the zinnias are still going, and it's still really nice out. It's in the 90s, been in the 90s all week. It's supposed to change next week and be in the 70s, but one thing that's really nice is that these pots have started to come back with the cooler weather. I thought they were done, but they surprised me and they're starting to come back, so that's really great. Still a lot of color left in the garden, which is really good. I love all the color. But anyways, Project Joy's starting to wind down, unfortunately, but it was really good while it was going. I think I did over 50 bouquets of flowers and made over 50 people happy and bring them joy, so that made me happy and was very encouraging. Might be able to get a few more next week, we'll see. But anyways, that's that. Also waiting for my yard guy to come and do cleanup. So just getting getting the most out of the garden as I can right now. Anyways, wanted to move on and talk about my mom. Things with her have not been great. Went to see her on Monday. It was Labor Day. My niece went with us. She had the day off. Usually she's not able to go see her very often because she works 5 days a week. But anyways, my mom was happy to see her. She cried when she saw her, so that was good. But she was pretty out of it, and she got pretty agitated at one point. She needed to go to the bathroom. We tried to get her there as quick as we could, and it still wasn't quick enough, and she didn't even have to go, so I'm not sure why she was getting so upset, and she was yelling at me, and it just wasn't good. I tried to have as much patience as I could and get through it, but it's just not a good feeling. I just wanted her to be content, and that's not really happening a lot, unfortunately, but I get it. Her whole life has been turned upside down. But something else bad that happened, well, on a good note, her legs are looking good, which is amazing. But now we have a new problem. She's got this thing underneath her chin. She's had it for a long time. She had it about 4 years ago, kind of like a cyst underneath her chin. And this was right before the dementia diagnosis, and took her to countless ENTs and dentists and things like that. And they just pat her on antibiotics a lot to try to get it under control. Never really could figure out what it was, but anyways, it's broken open again. She plays with it a lot, which doesn't help anything, and the people there are really concerned about it for some reason. And the wound care doctor came in yesterday to look at it, and somehow he ended up calling in the dentist, which I have no idea why. It turns out the dentist there is the one that used to go to Juniper where she was before, and I couldn't stand that guy. He was horrible. I mean, he really was a crook, as my mother called him. He tried to charge us like $500 just to do nothing, really. He did nothing but put fluoride on her teeth, which was crazy. But anyways, when I knew he was the dentist there, I knew I didn't want anything to do with him. But they called him in without even asking if it was okay first and telling me they wanted to do it. And he called me up, and I was just wondering what the heck he wanted. And then he said that he was called in and he wanted to do an x-ray, and it would be like $100. And I was like, yeah, no. I'm like, we've dealt with you before. It was not a good situation. You charged me a lot of money for nothing. But he said, oh no, it would just be $100, and if you want me to clean them, it would just be $150. And we were now up to like $300, and I was kind of thinking about it, but I was like, last time I tried to get her teeth cleaned, she refused. So I said, look, next time you're there, if you have the x-ray machine, you could try it, but if it doesn't work, there's nothing else I can do, and it has to be what you quoted me. So anyways, about a few minutes later, I get a call from his office lady, and she says to me she wants payment. And I'm like, for what? He didn't do anything. And it just totally sent me over the edge. And then he called again and tried to tell me that he was now charging for the consultation for just going in to look at her. And I basically just hung up on him. And then that turned into another huge fiasco where I called the facility to tell them, you guys have got to call me before you do any consultations of any kind, period. But I do not plan on paying him one penny. And I talked to my hospice nurse, and we agreed that, we just don't think this has anything to do with her teeth. And we're just gonna leave it for now unless we can find somebody else to go in there and take the x-ray. But anyways, it's just so maddening when people like this exist that try to take advantage. I mean, when there's not anybody to advocate for these people, can you imagine what they're getting away with? So anyways, that's that. And on top of that, I'm still trying to finalize buying the plot for the burial, and that still is not done. I went back to the cemetery again for the fourth time the other day. I think I found the place that I want, but trying to get the woman on the phone to finalize it has been just not happening. I feel like I'm being ghosted again, which makes no sense. I've called twice now. I've left 2 messages. I've emailed. I've even called the synagogue and asked if she's there, and they said yes. And I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so worried that if something happens that we'll have nowhere to put her. I even called the main cemetery myself to see if they had anything, and they have very little, and what they had I didn't like at all. So I'm just really frustrated at this point. If you guys have ever gone through something like this, I see you. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss right now. I guess I'll wait till Monday and figure out where we go from here. And as far as Etsy goes, things have picked up a little, so at least that's good. But I'm just having very little motivation right now, and I just really need something that gives me more purpose, and something that will help me make more money, just to pay my bills without having to worry. So still looking for work from home jobs. If anybody knows of a real one, let me know, because most of them are turning out to be scams. Would be great if it was something creative. And then just to end with Faith Friday, this morning I was watching GMA again, and they were talking about this lady that was on, I think her name was Lisa Whittle. She wrote a book called God Knows, and she was talking about how God knows, God knows the plan, God knows what's going on, God knows what's going to happen, and it's a good reminder for sure. But anyways, let's just end with a little bit of prayer. Let's keep Ukraine in our prayers, stop this senseless war, peace in Israel, stop the LGBTQI hate and anti-Semitism, stop gun violence. Please keep my friend Jana in your prayers. She's hopefully going to get a new job soon. Please keep Josh in your prayers. He's got a lot on his plate right now. They all got COVID, and they're recovering from that, in the process of recovering from that, and his aunt is now coming to live with him. She's end of life, I guess, and a lot. She's got dementia and Alzheimer's too, and he's trying to help take care of her as much as he can, and I just, want him to take care of himself too, because I know how hard this is. And also pray for my friend Joyce on Instagram. She's still trying to recover from sickness. And my friend Kathy from the church, I got to meet her this week. She's such an encouragement. That woman almost died from leukemia, and by the grace of God and prayer, she is in remission. So that's amazing. But anyways, if you guys are in need of prayer, let me know, and I hope you all have a good week.